A political battle is brewing over data centers. An AI-related provision in the Big Beautiful Bill could restrict state-level legislation of energy-hungry data centers and is raising bipartisan objections across the U.S. The Big Beautiful Bill, which comes from President Trump. So for those of you who might think that, I just I'm fully aligned with, I don't know, right wing or Republican or conservative or whatever. No, I see the issue in tech in both sides of whatever spectrum you want to call it. I just call out the left currently because they're the ones causing the most damage in the industry based on the evidence that I'm presenting here. But absolutely, there are definitely some bad decisions that come from any side that you're from. So you have President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. And what they did was they essentially took away the power for smaller, let's say, states or state level regulation for artificial intelligence, particularly data centers. And what that means is that you have state legislation that is incapable, it's not capable of stopping data centers from being created in really bad areas of their state. And a bad area of your state would be something like you use eminent domain to take over a portion of, I don't know, some city or some town and funnel a bunch of energy energy and, I believe they even say it right here, energy and water. You funnel a bunch of energy and water that typically goes to preserving or to the residents of the city or town, and now it goes into this massively power-hungry data center for AI. And on the one hand, I understand why this is being done because we are in a kind of like an arms race against other nations for AI. So I understand that there is a national security measurement here that plays into this, but there is also a case to be made. What are we getting for this? Even if you could make the case that we absolutely need to double down, triple down, quadruple down on our AI systems in order to be able to compete with whatever other nations have going on, which is, okay, it's a reasonably, somewhat fair argument. I don't think I agree with it in whole, but sure, you could make that case. But what are we getting for the billions upon billions of dollars that we're paying either in taxpayer-funded money or in subsidized funds in other ways, or through venture capitalist money, which ultimately ends up subsidized, or through the money that comes out of your pocket paying for tokens and subscriptions? What are we getting out of it? And then you add on top of that there is no legislation that you can create at a state level to stop a company from creating a data center that ultimately harms the residents of the people around it wherever it gets created. To what end? So I wanted to bring this up because I don't like seeing this. I don't think this is a good thing, and I don't think it's worth the amount of effort that's going into these kinds of legalities that allow AI companies to circumvent critical thinking around what they're doing. If we're trying to compete with other nations that have AI and use it against us, that's a completely fair argument to make. Well, okay, anyways, without getting into it too deeply, let's just assume that it's wholly a completely fair argument. My issue with this, just to sum it up, is that I don't think that we're getting what we're supposed to be getting out of it, nor do I think that this is actually required. I don't actually think we're required to bypass state legislation in order to create data centers. I think there's a happy medium here where we can still stay competitive. If you want to talk about national security and stuff, that's fine, but you shouldn't. I don't think it's okay to just allow eminent domain, I better pronounce that correctly, and then essentially take away the power for individual states to control, negative outcomes of this kind of stuff.